Hello YouTubers, this is the Scribe and thank you for watching this YouTube video. Just let me slurp some black wine in celebration of what I'm going to tell you today. This is fantastic. So I've just been on the phone to Russell Davies and he's accepted my manuscript, and I know many of you have been listening to me for years about how I like to be a good writer for Doctor Who, and I would actually use my skills of knowledge of Doctor Who throughout the years to make some of the best episodes you could ever watch. And one of my ideas was to have a Snowflake episode. So basically you have the Snowflake drifting down to the ground and the TARDIS is drawn to it for some reason. And for whatever reason, on a quantum level, new animals have appeared. New creatures, new life forms, can't even go an animal, have appeared on this snowflake. And obviously time has slowed down on it. I mean, it's not actually at the same timeline as everything else that's falling. And because of that, they're experiencing their reality at a very slow rate. So it's 50 years before the snowflake for them will hit the ground. And the Doctor and his companion, or whatever pronoun the Doctor wants to call himself these days, right, gets drawn to the TARDIS, drawn to the snowflake, right, and then he finds lots of new life on this, and he goes, "This is interesting." But he tells his companion, he says, "Be careful here, because we're at a sub-quantum level and you could fall through the cracks of the quantum field and it'll be very difficult for me to get you back." As if the Doctor gave a shit about any of his companions, but there's always something bad happening to them. I think you should probably push them through the quantum field. But anyway, he says, "Be careful, the quantum field is very, very dangerous. And my TARDIS doesn't like being in the quantum field. It doesn't like getting down to that size because it causes a rip in the quantum field, which could actually fracture the universe." Anyway, he stabilizes the TARDIS on this quantum snowflake, and when he does, he walks outside and he sees frozen Daleks and goes, "Well, that's an interesting thing." And of course the Daleks are in dresses, so I don't want to give away too much details about this, but they're all in pink dresses and they're frozen on this quantum field, and little creatures come out, little creatures like icicles. They're like they're like little icicle men, right? They come out, they crawl, and they go, "What do we have here? We've never seen anything like this before." And they look inside the TARDIS and go, "It's shittier in the inside." Well, what's this? Why is it all dressed in pink? And then the TARDIS begins to freeze a little bit on the bottom of the floor, and the Doctor says to his companion, "We have to be very quick because this snowflake could destroy the TARDIS." And then he goes, "I have my feeling about who this could actually be." So anyway, he goes outside and the TARDIS is still freezing inside. It's beginning to freeze at the subquantum level. And as he goes outside, the little creatures follow him. And he says something to the woman he's with, and suddenly one of the creatures goes, I mean, this is what Russell Davies likes about my writing. He said, "This is absolutely fantastic. It ticks all the boxes. Right? It ticks all the boxes." The snowflake says, "Did you just assume that person's gender?" And the other said, "No." And the other person went, "Well, he's He comes from a place, and the snowflake goes, listen here, you just said he comes from a place. Have you got a problem with where he comes from? The companion says, no, no, no. It says, he. I said, well, hang on a minute, why are you confusing his gender? He's never said what gender he is. And the doctor says, I'm a man. And the snowflake says, well, we have billions of genders on this snowflake. Why you only got two? And the doctor says, well, humans are stupid. Hang on a minute, you're a Time Lord. And the doctor says, well, how do you know we're a Time Lord? And it says, well, we've seen you before. We snowed on your crappy planet before. It's crap. And he goes, oh, they've only got two genders. And the doctor says, well, yeah, the Time Lords were at fault with that. I mean, they were just awful people. That's why I destroyed that planet. And the snowflake said, right, well, you didn't actually quite destroy it. So, yeah, I know that. I mean, the master made sure we finished that eventually. And then the snowflake goes, why isn't this person finished changing himself from, or herself or whatever, from a man to a woman? And the doctor said, hang on a minute, you can't say things like that, that's just awful. And then suddenly the doctor turns to the camera, he looks at the camera and goes, listen, Earthlings, let's just take you away from this episode for 1 second. Don't be racist. Right? His eyes glow gold. I mean, you won't believe it. Right? He even goes a few shades of white when he says this, because he's so shocked about what he's saying. A bit like Michael Jackson, right? And he's looking at the camera. Right? His eyes are glowing gold, and he actually starts to rise above the ground, right? Like some type of fucking god. And he's looking at the camera. And Russell T Davies was actually in awe of this. This is why he said this is one of the best episodes he's ever heard. And the doctor looks at it and says, don't be racist. Don't be mean to people. Don't be sexist. Don't be homophobic. In fact, make sure your children have sex changes, because otherwise you are a misogynist, a misogynist bitch. That's what he was saying. And then he starts to float towards the camera, right? So he's flowing towards the camera. The camera's getting closer and closer. And he says, remember one thing, you're all scum. And I got the biggest applause from that with Russell T Davies. He actually loved this and said, this is going to be a fantastic episode. Anyway, as I was saying, they give this little talk, and it lasts for about 20 minutes, and it's covering all the tick boxes basically. I mean, you want a bit of climate change there. I mean, obviously we're to blame for some magical snowflake falling to Earth that's melted because of climate change. Obviously, snow doesn't melt because of change of season, but it obviously melts just because of climate change. Okay. And you're all at fault for this mystical snowflake that's melting with all these billions of lives on that mystical snowflake that doesn't exist but actually exists in the story melting. It's your fault. The doctor needs to make sure he says that to you. Anyway, as the snowflake is falling, it's falling to the ground, right? The Daleks start to melt. You want to know what they're up to. I mean, they're there for something very, very special. Right next to the snowflake is the master, and he's frozen into. Oh, sorry. What? Jeez. Why did I say he? I mean, he hasn't really said what kind of, if he wants to be identified as he, she, or the master, or they, or them, or those, or they, or whatever. He might even want to be called Vinto. I mean, I don't know. I've done it again. I mean, why did I say he? Anyway, as a writer of this new show, right, and this is actually 100% true. I mean, you got to see this episode. as the snowflake starts to fall, right, the TARDIS gets pulled away from it, and his companion himself get thrown back into the TARDIS, and the Daleks are screaming. They're in pain. They're in a massive pain, and it's melting them. A bit like you see like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, because I thought that would be a fantastic picture show of people's faces melting, melting away, blood and all that for primetime TV before the watershed. I thought that would be fantastic, because you want to see what would happen if global warming would happen. Anyway, they're melting away. It's good. Everybody's melting away, right? Except for the mystical creatures on this snowflake, and the TARDIS is getting pulled away. Right? And suddenly, what you see in the air is Santa Claus, right, coming down to go onto the snowflake. But for whatever reason, the TARDIS now can't keep up. And the Doctor says, hang on a minute, why can't my TARDIS keep up with that? And he said, whatever it is, whatever that thing is, he said, I don't believe in Santa, but whatever it is, it's travelling faster through the quantum field than my TARDIS could possibly go. I've never seen anything like that. Because, Santa Claus is, a mystical thing that can travel throughout every single timeline, and fast. He can travel and deliver presents to all the children and adults who are good boys and girls, who are not racist, misogynist, or all this thing. And he says, whatever it is, whatever that thing is, it's travelling so fast that my TARDIS can't even keep up with it. And he tries his best to keep up with it, and the snowflake is being dragged away by the Santa Claus, basically. Anyway, eventually the Santa Claus disappears, and he goes back and he sees that Santa has actually removed all the Daleks, and all that's left are presents, which is little, let's say, fur lights and stuff like that on this, and also cakes and stuff for these little creatures on this icicle. Popsicles, right? Different colours. You imagine that? And the little quantum creatures are looking around saying, how long have we got? And they can't believe it. They can't believe it. Santa has delivered them presents, and he said, you know why they delivered us presents? He says, because we've been good boys and girls. Hang on, we haven't been good boys and girls. We've been good they and shim. That's what they said, we've been good thems. And because we've been good thems, Santa, has delivered us presents and not delivered you, Santa Claus, and all the bad boys and girls out there presents, because we're good boys and girls, right? And he said that's probably why people in the third world don't get so, I don't want to go that far. But anyway, Russell T Davies was really impressed and said, this is absolutely fantastic. He says, I'm going to make this an episode, so look forward to that. It's going to be called I'm going to put Santa, no, it's the quantum snowflake. The quantum snowflake. So look out for it when it comes out. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.